Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Safia. I am a virtual holistic coach and I am also the founder of this channel, Calorie Gamer. I am here today with another sit down chit chat surrounded around holistic health video. Specifically, I'll be talking about why has weight loss become so hard? Now it just seems like weight loss has become so much harder. Like there's so many different diets, so many restrictive ways of eating, and different nutritional profiles, and so many different health conditions. And now everybody's wondering, well, how do I lose weight? Like, what is the actual right way to lose weight? Today I'm going to be specifically talking about why has weight loss become so hard. So a lot of the factors I'm going to mention in this video are only the few of the many reasons why weight loss can become very difficult for someone, because everybody's specific unique individual makeup is just so, again, I'm just gonna use the same word, uniquely different. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the same word. It's so different for each individual. So these factors are only just a little bit of the many factors of why weight loss has become so hard. But if you're interested in this video, be sure to comment down below why you think that weight loss has become so hard in this day and age. I'm interested to hear and all the other ladies' thoughts and opinions. But anyway, let's just go ahead and hop into this. The first one is there are way too many diets promising weight loss. So as I kind of previously mentioned in the beginning of this video, there are so many different diets, different nutritional lifestyles that so many people are advocating for, and then it becomes just so noisy to the point where you ask yourself, which is the right way for me? What is the right way of eating? How should I be eating for my specific body? And here's what I will tell you. As you all know, I am a full believer in Jesus Christ, and I know that his word says that all food can be consumed, that everything that he has put on this earth is good to eat. So I believe it's like in First Timothy, I literally just read it like 3 days ago. I believe it's in like First Timothy chapter 4. Literally everything that God has created is good to eat as long as you give thanks for it. Saying that, the many restrictive diets that are popping up nowadays are, to be frank, unnecessary. Now, there is a fine line. If you have a specific health condition and you are working with a health professional, then definitely make sure that you are following their plan and their recommendations. But if you don't have any health conditions that requires you to admit out any food, if you don't follow a certain religion that requires you to cut out that specific food, then there's really no reason why you should be on a restrictive diet. If anything, it's just going to cause you to have a bad relationship with food in general, and that's not how we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to be afraid of sweets. We're not supposed to be afraid of potatoes. We're not supposed to be afraid of food, guys. Like, food is not the enemy here. If anything, it's us. But I'll get into that in just a second. So with there being so many different options, it become, again, very noisy, especially because there's so many different influencers, so many advocates for different ways of eating. I myself will say that in the beginning of my weight loss journey, I was one of those advocates for specifically low carb dieting and keto dieting, if you will. And I will just put this out here as a public apology for even pushing that on anyone. I know a lot of people benefited from those videos because there's a lot of different meal prepping options, of different recipes for our favorite foods and whatnot. But in all honesty, it's just pushing on this stigma that you have to be afraid of food and that not all food can be consumed, which is the complete straight opposite of what I profess now, years down the road, as I am more educated and I understand how the body works and how nutrition works with that. All the other noise, whether it be carnivorous diet, pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, keto, whatever lifestyle that you practice, if it's not for a physical reason or even a mental reason, then just enjoy what is called the 80-20% rule of eating, which means 80% of your foods is whole foods and 20% is your fun foods. It doesn't matter what time of the day, it doesn't matter what day of the week. Anything can be consumed in moderation. as long as you're being mindful of, again, portion sizes and the frequency. And I will say now, if you hear my baby in the background, she's with dad right now, so that's you might hear her a little bit. But my second factor why weight loss has become so hard is because physical health conditions are on the rise. I won't say ever since the pandemic things have just kind of gotten worse. I definitely would say during that time was really, really hard on a lot of people, specifically, you know, health-wise, physically and mentally. Now it's starting, we're just starting to kind of get better, but physical health conditions have increased, unfortunately, with the decrease of physical activity in not just adults but children as well. We are seeing an increase in not just weight, but we are also seeing an increase in diabetes, high blood pressure, unfortunate health conditions such as that. So with that coming into play, that can prevent a lot of people from being able to eat the foods that they want to eat and even be able to move their bodies the way they want to move their bodies. I have a family member that has rheumatoid arthritis, which enables him from being able to move around and be able to be active, which of course physical activity is a big contributing factor to weight loss. So imagine how difficult weight loss must be for this individual due to the fact that their physical activity is so limited. There are also people who have high blood pressure. So high blood pressure, they have to be very mindful of how much they're overexerting themselves. So for someone who's on the internet advocating, oh, do HIIT, blah, 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 they may think, okay, well, this may not be good for me to do this kind of workout, so then what do I do? Weight loss becomes not only physically harder, but it can become mentally harder because, again, these different influencers that are online that are saying this is the right way to lose weight, you need to do HIIT. Well, what if I can't do super extraneous exercises? Okay, then someone will say, oh, you need to do yoga. But then another person will say, well, yoga doesn't burn as many calories as strength training. Or someone else may say, well, running burns way more calories, and calories is what's going to help you lose weight because 3,500 calories equals a pound. So it's just a whole lot of stuff that's going on here, right? That would make someone feel, because of my health condition, because of my physical or mental condition, I am unable to perform and do what it takes to be able to see the weight loss. So that in itself will create this negative atmosphere in your mind that you're not capable of losing weight. So not just physically it becomes harder, but mentally it becomes harder as well, because now you feel limited. So then how do you break the chains? You break the chains by doing what actually works for you. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the video that so it is important that when we are following a certain lifestyle or regimen in terms of physical or nutritional, that it is something that is specifically tailored to us and our needs and what our whole entire organic makeup is. But there's always a way around it. You just have to find a plan that actually works for you. So this is going to be the last factor I'm going to mention in this video. The last one is we have way too many accumulated stressors in our life. Whether it's the prices of food increasing, the not so frequent help from family members when it comes to children, or having to work extra hours just to make ends meet, life just isn't as simple as it was way back when. Now, from what I understand, having been on this earth for almost 30 years, way back when you had just a little bit more help when it came to friends and family members. So whether it be finances or just helping with children, food also wasn't as high as it is now. Coupons was even a huge deal, okay? Saving the coins and whatnot. Rent was even low enough for one income to be able to pay for expenses. Nowadays, family members and friends are too busy with their lives, just like how you're busy with your life, trying to make ends meet by working extra hours. One source of income is not good enough anymore to be able to pay for expenses such as rent and food and electricity and utilities and whatnot. Now you need two sources of income. Or if the other person in the household is not able to work two sources of income, is able to work the secondary source of income, now you have to either get two jobs or you have to have a primary job with a side hustle if you're the only person in the household. And it's just a lot. Ever since the price inflation recently, everything has just been really, really expensive. And that in itself is very, very stressful. And that's just a few of the things that are added life stressors that I have personally witnessed in other people's lives and in my life as well. So I'm pretty sure the last thing you're trying to think about, with everything being so expensive, with time being so limited, at least it feels like it, even though we have the same 24 hours in a day that we did back then, only difference is now we have to do more within the 24 hours in a day. And the question is, when do you sleep? So with all these added stressors onto your life, I'm pretty sure you're not thinking about investing in getting vegetables and fruits when those in itself are really, really expensive. So then what ends up happening? We go for things that are more convenient. We go for things that don't take as much time. We're looking for things that are easier. What we consider to be a necessity, that's what we put our time into. But things that we don't consider to be a necessity, like unfortunately our health, we pretty much compromise that by not picking the best choices. Not to say that conveniency can't equal health, but it's conveniency. So when you are invested in conveniency, it's an investment. You have to pay a lot out of pocket. So then that just adds another reason why you should be doing extra hours and things of that nature. How do you combat this? How do you combat price inflation? How do you combat rent going up, food going up, limited amount of help? How do you combat all this? You have to make a schedule, and not just a schedule, but you also need to create time to invest in your health. Your health should be a priority, just like how waking up in the morning and reporting to your job, whoever your employer is, even if you are self-employed yourself, just like how you make it a priority to meet those day-to-day demands, your health should just be as much of a priority, if not more. There's a lot of things that we add on to our plate that we don't necessarily need to have there. We just kind of have it there because people say we should have it there. Your family, your friends, social media has a lot of influence in how you live your day-to-day life. And that in itself can influence you to add stressors into your life that don't need to be there for you specifically. Reevaluate what is actually important to you. Make those things a priority, make them more important, so then everything else around you could come after that, especially the things that are not so important. So that is the end of this video. So just to kind of recap of the 3 reasons why the weight loss has become so hard. There are way too many diets to choose from that are promising weight loss. The second is physical health conditions are on the rise. And the third one is you have accumulated probably too many life stressors in your life. So what are the solutions? When it comes to the many diets, find one that is actually realistic to you, not restrictive, but make sure that it's tailored to your specific organic makeup. And if you can, if all possible, follow an 80 to 20% ratio when it comes to your nutrition. The second one, as a solution when it comes to physical health conditions, make sure that you're finding a regimen that is actually realistic for you. So if you are physically limited, find something that still enables you to be physically active, but it's not overstraining or overexerting yourself. So find something that's specifically tailored for you when it comes to your physical health conditions to make sure that your limitations are not stopping you from meeting your goals. And then the third one, with the accumulated life stressors, pretty much you're just gonna have to cut things out. Make a checklist of things that are actually important. Like if you were to not pay attention to it, will something drastically bad happen? It was one of my clients that I was talking to. Oh, she was a perfectionist. Okay, so she was a perfectionist. She wanted to make sure that she was following her schedule exactly. And there was this one day that she wasn't able to get to her workout. So she just didn't work out at all that day. So then I asked her, I said, well, what's the worst that can happen if you didn't do the full workout, but you did like half of the workout? And she kind of thought about it and said, well, I guess nothing bad will happen. I'll still get something in. I said, there you go. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a plan that's executed. And no matter the cost, even if you're only doing half of it, even if you're only doing a quarter of it, it's okay if it's not a perfect plan. But making progress is better than making no progress. Okay, now going to work definitely needs to be a priority. What happens if you're not focusing on your mental health? Well, whether it be a week from now, months from now, a year from now, a decade from now, it's going to catch up with you. You're going to be burnt out, and other things are going to be added to that, and you're going to feel like you're in a spiral. So that also needs to be taken in priority. When it comes to your physical health, what's the worst that can happen if you're not prioritizing your physical health? Well, you're not going to be able to go to the job that you're so busy trying to get to. You're not going to be able to meet the demands of everywhere else around you that people are demanding of you. You won't be able to do anything because you are physically limited due to you neglecting your physical health. So these are questions that we need to ask ourselves when it comes to our day-to-day life, or the things that we are packing in on a day-to-day schedule, a week-to-week, or even a month-to-month. Is it really that important? And if so, how much are we prioritizing it? And the things that are not so important, where is that when it comes to our checkbox list? Is it something that it's okay if it doesn't get done? Or are we making that a priority because it influences around us? So that is actually the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy the 3 factors that I have given to why weight loss has become so hard. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying content like this one. Be sure to subscribe to the fam because I do post these kind of videos every Friday. If not, it's a food video. Most of the time it's a food video. And be sure to click on this video on the right hand corner if you're looking for a sweet treat that you would like to add to your arsenal that will not take up your time. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.